Lighter, thinner, faster. That's the new iPhone 5. Question is, what will it do to the stock price? Jessica Vascellaro was there at that event earlier today, and she joins us now from San Francisco. And there she is in the monitor. Thank you very much for being there. I guess the mood was pretty excited, right?
It was an Apple press event with the Foo Fighters coming on at the end, and lots of cheering and shouting as executives went through the new device spec by spec.
Okay, so tell us about what is every new feature of this phone compared to the last phone, the one that I'm holding in my hand.
So two major sets of changes. One is the actual hardware, and there have been some pretty dramatic changes. I mean, the shape looks the same, but it's made of sort of different materials. It's thinner. The screen is a bit longer, so your apps will sort of fill the screen. Folks who, I didn't actually touch one yet, but folks who did actually were talking about it. It feels like a finer piece of jewelry, one person said. So, I mean, there are changes to the hardware, which is not what we saw a year ago in the update. So that's pretty new. New features to the camera software, mics, just sort of go through, and they've enhanced the features one by one. And then, of course, the new mobile software, iOS 6, which we and developers have been previewing, that has the new mapping service, the new couponing service, integration with Facebook, and lots of new stuff related to apps.
And it's got a new connector.
Yes.
For when you charge it, and people seem pretty excited about that, although I guess some people are also kind of worried about all their devices that they attach it to. So tell us about that. Yeah,
so if you're like me, you're going to have sort of iPhone chargers everywhere. You're going to have to buy a connector, and I don't know how much it will cost, but a little accessory, because the new connector is much smaller. It's all digital. It's not sort of those pin connectors that we've been using for a while. Apple says it's going to be sort of much better, much more efficient, but there is going to be an adjustment. You'll have to get connectors to use your old chargers, and all those accessory makers that sort of plug in with iPhones, like speakers and that kind of stuff, are going to have to adapt too.
I've heard it said that this is a great way for you to sort of go out and buy a ton of new gadgets. I mean, it's been a long time since that adapter was introduced, way back at the beginning of the decade, right? The beginning of the last decade. It
has been, and it sort of resembles what we're using for the iPod. So Apple does believe that this is a sort of a leap forward in adapter technology. They also, interestingly, have new headphones as well, and Apple made us sit through, or allowed us to sit through, a video about different ear shapes and why these new ear-pods, as they're called, are really optimal for listening to music.
Did they sound optimal to you for listening to music, or not?
I'll have
Were you
to give them a
convinced?
whirl. They look a little bit futuristic to me, but maybe I'm old school in my headphone style. So.